Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time, we're going to go over to the New Republic, and this is in politics. It says Hegseth's rant on DC takeover turned into evidence against Trump. It's always the best and brightest that they have at that administration. That always seems to make it a little bit easier for everyone else, I guess. But it says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth Monday remarks on the deployment of troops onto the streets of Washington, D.C. may have already harmed the Trump administration in their legal battle over deployment of troops on the streets of Los Angeles. Uh-uh. Monday marked the beginning of a 3-day trial in which California is making the case that Hegseth and the Trump administration violated the Posse Comitatus Act and an 1878 federal law forbidding the use of military for civilian law enforcement purposes during its crackdown on LA protests against its immigration agenda. During a Monday press conference, Trump's federal takeover of DC, Hasek announced that the National Guard will be flowing into streets of Washington in the coming week, and that there are other units we are prepared to bring in, other National Guard units, other specialized units. They will be strong, they will be tough, and they will stand with their law enforcement partners, Hasek said. And this is nothing new to the DoD, he added. In Los Angeles, we did the same thing, working with California National Guard, working with ICE
The down
officers.
payment was just $100, not $1,000. It's a real FHA program for HUD homes with FHA financing. Still,
in Los Angeles, which they did, according to journalist Adam Classfield of the legal affairs publication All Rise. California's attorney on Monday moved to enter Hegseth's announcement of the National Guard deployment and especially his comments about the troops standing with their law enforcement partners and having done the same thing in LA into evidence. Hegseth's comments were ultimately omitted by the judge. Classfield reports, despite the Trump administration objecting on the grounds that they were not already on the exhibit list, the judge reportedly observed that the remarks could not have been included on the exhibit list previously, considering they just happened. Duh. This is apparently the sort of mishap that occurs when one doesn't wait for their potential military occupation of one city to play out in court before moving to the next. And that is the end of the article right there. And let me just say, um, my opinion is that the deployment of the National Guard in LA was bogus. It was bull. Um, the whole immigration thing is bogus and bull. It is, and people do not believe this when people be saying this. And I'm not the only one that has said this, but in my opinion, it is nothing but a slow roll of a couple of things like martial law, like um, making one demographic of people look worse to justify their means and their ends. As for DC, crime in DC has went down. The thing about big balls, the question that I would ask about that situation is, has anybody spoken to the victim that he allegedly supposed to have been defending, or Big Balls himself? They came out and did an interview? I find it very questionable that you're gonna put a a photo up with blood all over him and he's not pressing any charges. Was there charges pressed? Did they catch the people that did it? Was there a description? What about the female in question that he supposedly was supposed to have been defending when he caught this alleged assault on him, I find it very hard to believe that none of this stuff is coming out, because the way, in my view, in my opinion, that the Trump uh, cabinet is set up, if anything actually happened, they would be the first ones on it. It would be full stop, press, wall to wall. This is what happened. Here's the victim. This is what happened, to further their agenda. But it was just, he allegedly got assaulted, and allegedly he was defending somebody's honor. No details, to my knowledge, that have came out how the situation actually occurred. Were they approached by the people? For example, were they approached by the people? Was the lady in question, the girl in question, was she being harassed, or what? What? Nobody knows. It's just very, very vague, and I find that very suspicious. Um, and they use that as an excuse, in my opinion. They use it as an excuse to turn their sights on DC, and then he mentioned Baltimore, which in Baltimore and DC, the crime has went down. In DC, I believe it's been the lowest within 30 years, and something similar to Baltimore as well. So these are his targets, in my opinion. And in my opinion, just like LA, he's going to take the initiative to make and paint DC, California, and Baltimore, and any other, Chicago as well, and any of those states that he put his mouth on. He's going to take that as an initiative to, militarize the people, militarize the police, which is against the law, depending on which state that you live in. Like, it's a dog and pony show. It's distraction. It's distraction from the Epstein files. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about his failed immigration policy that he's still trying to hold on, tooth and nail with. That's a failure. It's a whole bunch of things. Meanwhile, it's also a distract. Like, if he really cared about crime, the CDC was just shot up. Even though the perpetrator was fortunately neutralized, the thing about that, has anyone from the administration made any comments about it? I do know that the Robert JFK Jr., he made condolences post after he posted multiple photos of him fishing with, I guess, his friends or family, I'm assuming. But other than that, you don't even care about the people that work at. Like, this is madness. This is crazy, and it's very unfortunate. And it just shows you that this administration will use any tactic, anything that they can use to justify what they're doing. He clearly has issues with the cities and states that he keeps naming for whatever reason. Uh, and he wants to make it look like he's in law and justice. How can you be for law and justice, and you just freed a man from Villas that ran to Venezuela because he killed people in another country? And I believe it was in 2016. But you freed this man and gave this man a pardon. You gave him a get out of free jail pass. Also, the gentleman, it's alleged to be said that the gentleman that supposedly was a witness against Abrego Garcia, an innocent man that was detained and unlawfully sent out of the country, away from his family, his wife and children. The so-called witness was arrested because he decided that he wanted to get drunk and go and shoot up a Texas neighborhood. But I guess because he was willing to make a deal with the administration and lie and say that he was witness to Abrego Garcia doing something that he did not do, I guess he got a get out of free jail card as well. This is the things that people really need to be looking at and paying attention to. Everybody wants to jump on. I hear it so much and I see it so much in the comments of people that, oh, well, it was a witness. They said he didn't have asylum. Abrego Garcia did have asylum. That's one. Two, he was an innocent man working to feed his family. Three, the person that is the so-called witness actually shot up a neighborhood in Texas. Anyone with a half a mind to do a simple search on the actual person that was supposed to have been the witness for Abrego Garcia would know that this was a quid pro quo deal. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. This man that is a witness should be in jail because not only did he endanger the life of himself and his passenger because he was under the influence of alcohol at the time, which is being reported, he also endangered all of those people that he decided to shoot 11 rounds into their Texas neighborhood. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But again, it all depends on if you want to fight for the truth and if you want to fight for a lie. And I hope that it doesn't come, that they come to Baltimore or Chicago or any other state. And if they do, I hope that they fight. I hope DC fights. I hope they fight for their right. You're not supposed to use the military against an American city and American citizens. You cannot do that. It's a actual law. So I hope that DC mayor, fights. If they don't fight and they don't take it to court, I would be very suspicious about the administration in DC. Okay, I would barely eye raising be very suspicious of why they're not taking the Trump administration to court. But that's my opinion. That's my view. Don't listen to me. Do your own research, okay? But drop down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. I would definitely love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as well. I truly appreciate you watching my videos as any video that I make. And with that, you guys, I will get with you in the next one.